Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know before this video starts that this video was pre-recorded almost an entire week prior to the actual release of this video. And I recorded it largely in advance because I didn't expect any additional news to come out, when in fact there were two full videos that I made afterwards that ended up being fairly newsworthy. So the video is going to feel like it's ending, and then I will come right back right afterwards and we'll talk about the things that have happened since I first recorded this video. So thanks for understanding. Let's get into the actual meat of the video. Hey there guys, Portal Master here, and in today's video I am here to provide a complete recap of all the news, all the rumors, all the leaks that we have heard about the Skylanders 2021-2022 leaks that we have been hearing about on Twitter recently. Now, before we get into this video in its entirety, the first thing that I need to make clear to you guys is that, again, nothing's confirmed, we don't know anything, and every single thing I'm talking about in this video could be a complete and utter lie, and it's possible we're not getting anything Skylanders related for the next considerable amount of time. But with that being said, I'm going to dive into the rumors, and I'm going to be talking very briefly about everything that I've been saying in the past dozen or so videos that I've made on this channel. So let's dive in. So, the first video that I made is this one right here, which is Skylanders in 2021 by Toys for Bob. Now, the first thing that I want to make clear is that the 2021 release date is completely unconfirmed, and I no longer even believe that it will be a 2021 release. If these rumors are true, I think it will be a 2022 release. This first video was created because a Twitter leaker who correctly predicted Crash Bandicoot 4 also said this in a tweet: "Since hashtag Crash Bandicoot won't be on the Switch for a while, what else are you excited for? The new Skylanders project they're working on? It's a ways off, I guess, but it's still there." Or something along those lines. I'm not entirely. That's more or less what they said in the tweet. So this tweet sort of was kind of like, well, is there a Skylanders game coming on the horizon? Is this something they're just guessing at? Who knows? So people tweeted at them, people asked them, and it turns out there's a little bit more. Sometime in May, this particular leaker had some information disclosed to them, not only about Crash Bandicoot 4, but also about a Skylanders game that was in the preliminary stages of development. This game is supposed to be, according to the following video I made, new and unique compared to previous titles. But let's go back to this for a minute. So essentially all they were told is that there would be a Skylanders game, and they were then asking for further details to be told to them later on. Now, people are debating whether or not this Skylanders game is supposed to be a mobile title or a full-fledged console title. The fact that it was leaked to them alongside of Crash Bandicoot 4 information is one of the best reasons that we have to assume that it is a console game that is most likely under development by Toys for Bob, and there are further supporting arguments to make it seem like if a Skylanders game is in development, it is in development by Toys for Bob, and we will get into that in a minute. So, along with this, it was also, like I said, mentioned that the Skylanders 2021 or 2022 title would be a unique game compared to previous titles. What this means is still up in the air, and some people do personally believe it to mean that it is a mobile game, which is something I talked about in my video right here, where I talked about some conflicting rumors that were found due to a gigantic leak that was found on Reddit. This Reddit leak was from either February or March, I don't remember. It was pre-quarantine essentially. So a lot of the things that happened in this Reddit leak are said that they could be up in the air just because things could have been delayed due to COVID, and also Black Lives Matter events as well could have affected some of these things. So we do have to throw that out there, but essentially this giant Reddit leak leaked everything that was supposed to be coming up for the next little bit on video games in general. And there was an entire section dedicated to Activision Blizzard. So, among other things, it said there'd be a Tony Hawk Pro Skater remaster, and a few other things. But the main thing that it was talking about that's relevant to our topic here is a Skylanders title would be coming back, but not in the way that it originally did. It would be a mobile gacha game. Now, because of that, combined with the fact that Ring of Heroes 2.0 was confirmed at this point, some people thought that this leak was referring to the Skylanders Ring of Heroes 2.0 re-release. But now that we found out more about the Ring of Heroes 2.0 release and found out that it is less of an overhaul than we originally anticipated, most people now do not believe that this leak from Twitter is referring to the same thing that this Reddit leak was talking about. And also, most people believe this Reddit leak to be complete bogus, and we can throw that out the window due for for a variety of reasons, but more or less, most people believe the Reddit leak to be fake, which means we're back to only having one set of rumors to worry about, which is the stuff we found on Twitter, so that makes it a little bit easier to process everything that's going on. The next video that I made was talking about a Reset Era thread talking about the Twitter leaker. So the Twitter leaker is named Hot Girl Videos 69, which the name, for several reasons, does cast doubt on the validity of said leaker. Well, Reset Era is a forum where fans of video games go to talk about gaming leaks and rumors. And Hot Girl Videos has put out several predictions that proved to be false several times in a row, which resulted in them actually being straight up banned from the Reset Era forums. However, the leaker claims that the reason that most of these leaks ended up being proven false was because of coronavirus delays, and that is why they were off. There are several reasons to doubt this leaker's validity, but there are also several reasons to trust them, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But the main premise of this video right here was talking about why we shouldn't trust this leaker. However, the next video that I made talked about why we should trust this leaker, because they actually correctly nailed 2 reveal dates for Nintendo properties. So sometime back in, I can't remember if it was May, I think it was May, they tweeted out something with a list of 4 numbers on it: 612, 619, 76, and 712. At first, these appear to just be 4 random numbers, something out of Gravity Falls. But it turns out they were actually dates. It was actually June 12th, June 19th, July 6th, and July 14th. June 12th and June 19th happened to be the days where Min Min was revealed as a Smash fighter and when the Paper Mario Origami King trailer was released. Because of this, an industry insider, Jeff Grubb, actually says that he will never doubt at Hot Girl Videos 69 simply because of her track record. Jeff Grubb, for those of you who don't know, is actually a major insider in the gaming world. He's the person who correctly called when the PlayStation 5 reveal event would be before it was delayed by the Black Lives Matter protests. So he is very trustworthy, and the fact that he trusts this leaker is a huge mark in the credibility and makes them seem a lot more reliable than they would have seemed otherwise. I'm not going to lie to you guys, before I made this, I was starting to doubt the validity of the leaker a little bit, but the fact that Jeff Grubb trusts them and the fact that they correctly called 2 dates is actually pretty important. It should be important to note, though, that they did not call the July dates. July 6th ended up being nothing other than the reveal of when Xbox would be having their State of Play event. So the later dates were not as good, and also I actually tweeted at them and asked on the 6th if we should be expecting anything, or maybe it was the 5th, I don't remember what it was. I'll put the tweet right here, but essentially they said that they were unsure of when things would happen because things were getting hazy, and they ended up putting out what was effectively a tweet storm talking about, you know, why things were wrong, when we should expect things. But the main point of this video was actually not their tweet storm. It was actually talking about something that Toys for Bob was doing, which is hiring people for a multiplayer game. Now, how do we know they're hiring for a multiplayer game? Well, they put out a job listing that you can see right here that is calling for a multiplayer network engineer. Now, a multiplayer network engineer implies that it is some type of an online game. So, Crash 4, as far as we know, isn't an online compatible game, which is interesting. Presumably a Spyro title wouldn't be either, and we don't really have a good reason to think that Toys for Bob is working on the next Spyro title. Presumably, that's Vicarious Visions. So, we are due again for another game in 2022, and people believe that this is what they're hiring for. Now, 2022 is probably when a crossover game will happen between the 2 franchises, Spyro and Crash, as 2019, the last gap year between Spyro and Crash games, featured Crash Team Racing, which was a crossover title. Skylanders is an established crossover title, and many people, including myself, think that this could be something that we could see in 2022. Again, it's not confirmed, but the fact that they're hiring for a multiplayer game that could potentially maybe be Skylanders is at least not discrediting to the theory that that could be a 2022 release. So that's basically everything we know. A leaker on Twitter has basically had several things for and against their credibility, be it on Reset Era, as well as a few industry insiders saying that they trust this person. They've made a few correct predictions. They've also made a few incorrect predictions. Overall, it's in general a toss-up, but this is the closest that we have come to any reliable information about a Skylanders game in the near future. There was people who thought that this could be a mobile game for a little while. It seems that it's probably not a mobile game, given that what we know about Ring of Heroes 2.0 now, and given that it was leaked to them along with Crash Bandicoot 4 information, makes it seem like it is a Toys for Bob title, or at the very least a console title. The fact that it is in the early stages of development seems to imply that it is most likely a 2022 release, as a 2021 release at this point would just be too early if it was still just in the preliminary stages of development. As well, other insiders have said that Activision does not want to release more than one kids game a year, and if they released it next year in 2021 along with a Spyro game, that would be 2 titles for kids in a single year. If the Skylanders game does end up being true, then it will be unique compared to older titles. What this could mean, we still don't know. I have a full video planned on that in the future, but it will somehow be unique. And really, that is all we know. Okay guys, so now I am back for essentially what is going to be part 2 of this video that was recorded at a later date. So I'm right after the intro. Is when this was actually recorded, so let's dive in. So the next video that I made was about the Skylanders leaker tripling down and claiming that the return of the Skylanders franchise is confirmed. This is interesting because a lot of times when they present their leaks, they're like either very confident it's happening, or they're like, I don't know, maybe this is what's happening, I don't know, I guess. So today is the day of the Ubisoft Direct, or whatever it was called, the Ubisoft Forward, I think is what it was called, and they had at one point claimed that a Nintendo title would be announced today. That did not come true. That could be counted as a little bit of a hit against their credibility, but the main thing I want to talk about is how they weren't sure that it was coming back. They talked about how they were like 42% certain, I think is the number that they put out there, that there'd be some Nintendo title at this Ubisoft thing, and then the Ubisoft thing ended up being split into 2 parts anyway, so it's kind of a wash. But anyway, the one thing to take away from this video is that they seem very sure of the Skylanders title coming back, almost as if they've basically heard from a Toys for Bob employee themselves, or maybe an Activision employee, I don't know. Hard to say honestly, but they do seem very confident that it is a thing. So that was the entire purpose of this only 3-minute long video. The next video that I, however, made is probably the single most important video that was made since the original leak, and that is the sole reason that I am releasing this addendum to the original video. It is that somehow the rumored Skylanders game not only has Toys to Life, but also has GPS functions somehow enabled with it. We have no idea what to make of this, honestly. This is the most confusing video I've probably had to make since the leaks have surfaced, but apparently back in May, they actually made claims that there was going to be a Skylanders game. Those tweets were deleted, so when these resurfaced and we went searching for these tweets, we couldn't find these tweets about a GPS-enabled Skylanders game. But the website TechRaptor wrote an article back in May when they also talked about a Batman game that may or may not be coming in 2020 or 2021. They were discussing whether or not they thought it was going to be delayed. They also mentioned, again, like I said, Toys to Life function. I can tell you that this is not a misquote by TechRaptor because one of my friends remembers hearing tweets from this person back in May, but didn't remember exactly what they were about. But when I showed them the TechRaptor article, they were like, oh, it's all coming back. It was about GPS functionality, and I thought that was incredibly weird. So I can attest to the fact that the GPS functionality thing is actually what she was originally claiming in these tweets. This is weird. We don't know. Presumably the title is under development by Toys for Bob, and presumably it's going to be on the Switch. So what we're potentially looking at now is a hybrid game on both the Nintendo Switch and mobile devices, somehow with cross-play. Maybe we're looking at like a Minecraft Earth-like situation where you can buy little figures that go with the mobile game, but are also usable on a traditional console experience for Skylanders. Honestly, we really do not know what this means. This is an incredibly strange, topic to talk about, and there will be more videos in the future further breaking this down, but I did need to include this in the leak rumor recap video. So this is going to be the real end of the video. Thank you for sticking around with this addendum. I apologize that I couldn't, put this back in the original video. I actually shot the original video 3 different times, so I wasn't going to record it a 4th time just to add this addendum to the end. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Portal Master. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.